despite Trump's appeal to halt bombardments. Civil Defense spokesperson Mahmoud Bassal has said that 20 homes were destroyed overnight. Baptist Hospital has confirmed 4 dead and several wounded in Tufa neighborhood. Nasser Hospital in Khan Yunis has reported 2 children killed and 8 wounded in a drone strike on a tent in a camp for displaced Gazans. Hamas has said that it is ready to release hostages under Trump's plan, but wants negotiations on details and a role in Gaza's future. Following this, Israeli IDF chief Eyal Zamir held a situational assessment with top generals and ordered forces to prepare for the implementation of the first stage of Trump's plan to free hostages. The IDF statement emphasized defensive operations, protecting troops, and quick response capabilities, halting plans to take over Gaza City for now. Now, for this discussion, we're joined by Professor Gilad Hirschberger. He's a political psychologist at Reichman University, joins us live from Israel. Thank you very much, Professor, for joining us again. Good to see you.
Good to see you too. Thank you.
Thank you. So how significant is this, all the news that has come in today regarding this plan, and what are the 20 points which have been agreed upon?
Okay, I think first of all, this is a very significant agreement. This is the first time since the beginning of the war that all parties involved, including international actors such as the Arab world and Europe, agree that this is a plan to end the war, release the hostages, and even pave a way towards a future peace. The 21 points benefit 2 parties in particular and do not benefit one party. They benefit the Palestinians, they benefit Israel, but they do not benefit Hamas, and I'll try to explain briefly. In these 21 points, the Palestinians will receive a full rehabilitation of the Gaza Strip. There will be an economic plan with many incentives and many perks in terms of restoring Gaza to be a livable place and ending the terrible war that has cost so many Palestinian lives. So the Palestinians have only much to gain, and also Hamas will be removed from power. We know today that most Palestinians in Gaza do not want Hamas in power. Israel will receive the end of the war, and the hostages will be released, and there will be no threat from Gaza on Israel. So that's also a benefit to Israel. But Hamas is going to lose. Hamas will lose political power, and Hamas will lose military power. And the reason that we're seeing so much hesitation from that side is because they are very reluctant to accept a plan that they will not benefit from. They will only lose according to this plan. But they're under a lot of pressure. They're under a great deal of pressure.
And Professor, thank you for laying that all out for us. So from what we know, Hamas's response included that Hamas suggesting that a body of independent Palestinian technocrat can take as a government a source for next post-Gaza and Israel's war. So what do you think, who is Hamas suggesting towards, who are they pointing out when they say a body of independent Palestinian technocrat?
Okay, I think it's very important here to read the fine print. They are saying yes, but. And what that means is that on the one hand, they're accepting a part of the plan and saying, yes, we do agree to a technocratic government, but we also demand to be involved. They're not willing to step back, and they're not willing to completely leave the governance of the Gaza Strip in the hands of others. They want to take part in it. And this is one of the many obstacles that are going to have to be dealt with in negotiations in the next few days.
And how is this seen in Israel, where you are currently? How is this news coming in with and giving people more optimism? And how is it reflecting towards the hostage families that are calling for all of them to come back home?
This deal is eliciting mixed feelings. On the one hand, a great deal of hope that maybe in a few days all the hostages will be released and maybe the war will end. There's a very strong majority in Israel, according to any opinion poll, that want the war to end and the hostages released. But the feelings are mixed because we've heard promises about ending the war in the past and about hostage releases in the past, and they haven't materialized. And many people are afraid that the hopes are high again, and we will only be disappointed. The hostage families in particular are in a very difficult situation, of course. They're hoping that their loved ones will be returned, but they don't want to hold their hopes too high and be disappointed once again.
Right. With that, I would like to thank our guest, Professor Gilad Hirschberger, for joining us and sharing that insight. Now we move on to Asia. Japan's ruling Liberal Democratic Party has elected conservative nationalist Sanae Takaichi as its new leader, positioning her to become the country's first female prime minister ever. Following this victory, Takaichi is expected to become Japan's first female prime minister. This marks a historic milestone in the country's political history. Let's listen in to what Takaichi has said after her win.
何が一番大事かと言ったら、これはもう冒頭に申し上げました。日本の底力を最大限発揮して経済成長をさせることです。それができなければ必要な福祉も、そして質の高い教育もできません。日々の暮らしも豊かにならない。みんなも夢を持てない。だからこそ経済成長戦略を最優先いたします。
She defeated Shinjiro Koizumi, who received 156 votes. Takaichi has won as the public anger rose due to rising prices. They were drawn to opposition parties who promised changes and clampdowns on foreigners. Now we go back to Middle East. Iranian judiciary has said that it executed 6 members of a terrorist group in Khuzestan province. The group had carried out armed attacks and bombings targeting security forces, including the killing of 4 personnel in 2018 and 2019. Authorities have said that the convicts confessed to sabotage operations, including planting bombs and attacking a gas station. Iranian media claimed the 6 had links to Israel. In a separate execution, Saman Mohammadi was hanged for moharebeh, or waging war against God, involving his alleged membership in terrorist groups and participation in killings, robberies, and kidnappings. The executions followed by recently after Iran hanged a man it called one of Israel's top spies. Human rights groups say Iran is the world's second largest executioner after China. Now for this discussion, we go back to Professor Gilad Hirschberger. He's a political psychologist at Reichman University. Joins us live from Israel. Thank you very much, Professor, for staying with us. Now, what more can you tell us about... Thank you. Now, what more can you tell us about this news that has just come in about the execution of 6 people, and they're saying that they were related to Israel?
I think we need to understand that since the very brief war in June, the two-week war between Iran and Israel, in which Israel obliterated Iran's military and nuclear capabilities, Iran has been in a frenzy and is looking for retaliation. And the first thing they're doing is trying to find out all the dormant cells inside Iran and looking for spies. And so there's a lot of activity around that. But it's also important to say that tensions between Iran and Israel are on the rise. There's more and more talk right now of a second wave of war between Iran and Israel that could happen anytime soon. One former Israeli minister, Victor Lieberman, even warned Israelis to stay close to shelters in the coming weeks because it is likely that there will be another war between Israel and Iran.
With that, I would like to thank Professor Gilad for joining us and sharing that insight throughout our news on Middle